This is going to be our final. We're going to be here on Arena 1. It's going to be a 20-minute time cap, and it's going to involve all 12 members of the team. We're going to separate that team into 3 sub-teams. The first sub-team is going to have a mandatory composition of 2 males and 2 females. The next 2 sub-teams you can make up as you see fit. The team will begin staged behind the rig. And on 3, 2, 1, go, the first sub-team, that one with the mandatory composition of 2 males and 2 females, is going to run onto the field of play, and they're going to stage themselves by the barbells. They're going to produce 24 synchro hang snatches. The bar will be loaded to 40 kilos for the gents and 30 kilos for the ladies. For the hang snatch, you may perform any variation of the snatch. It can be a squat snatch, power snatch, split snatch, as long as you're bringing your feet back together at the end. You may not bring the bar below the level of the knee. After the hang snatches, they're going to progress to the skipping ropes, and at each skipping rope station will be required to perform 50 double under skips with a heavy release rope. So in this situation, we're going to have athletes staged in either box. You have to complete 50 repetitions on each of those ropes, but you may switch in with the other athletes. Once you've completed the double unders, you'll make your way to the monkey bars. And on the monkey bars, you will perform 6 synchro monkey bar reverses with a little twist on what we've done in the past. This time, we're going to progress from the front to the back, and while still hanging, we'll turn around and come back to the front. Both hands must touch the first rung, both hands must touch the end rung, and when you return, both hands must touch that first rung again. The synchro portion is that both athletes make contact with that first rung of the bar at the same time. They can then progress independently, but must both complete the repetition in order for it to count. If either athlete fails, the entire repetition will need to begin again from the start of the ladder. Following the monkey bars, you'll make your way back to the skipping ropes to perform 50 repetitions on each rope again, sharing them as you see fit, before moving back to the barbells to perform 24 repetitions of the hang snatch. And once you've completed that, all 4 athletes will make their way to the finish line. When the first sub-team has reached the finish mat, that will trigger the release of the second sub-team. And that sub-team can be composed of whomever you like. They will make their way onto the field of play. They're going to run down to the barbells, and they're going to load them to the next increment, which in this case will be 60 kilos for the gents and 40 kilos for the ladies. The athletes will perform 18 synchro hang snatches, with 2 athletes acting together to perform the synchronization. The other 2 athletes will be resting. You can change as frequently as you like. Following the synchro hang snatches, the team will progress back to the double unders, where they'll produce 50 repetitions on each rope as before. Then they'll make their way into the rig to perform 20 accumulated repetitions of the ring muscle up, with 1 athlete working at a time. After that set of accumulated ring muscle ups, the team will make their way back to the skipping ropes and perform another 50 double unders on each rope before moving back to the bars to complete 18 synchro hang snatches with 2 athletes working to synchro at a time. Upon completion of the hang snatches, the 4 will make their way to the finish mat to trigger the release of the 3rd and final sub-team. The 3rd and final sub-team will enter onto the field of play, and they'll run to the bars, where they will load 2 of the bars to 90 kilos for the gents and 55 kilos for the ladies. And they will accumulate 12 hang snatches, working 1 athlete at a time. Each athlete can produce as many reps as they choose. Following the hang snatches, the athletes will progress to the double unders, where they'll produce 50 repetitions on each of the ropes again, before moving into the rig, where they'll perform 30 synchro ring muscle ups, shared between 4 athletes. 2 athletes working at a time and the other 2 resting. That final sub-team will then make their way from the rings to the ropes for a final set of 50 double unders on each of the ropes. And then they'll make their way back to the barbells and they'll perform 12 accumulated repetitions of the hang snatch before making their way to the finish mat, where time will be called and recorded for scoring.